Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trinity College's Pre-Orientation live web chat. My name is Consuelo Pedro, and I am a transition fellow with the Bantam Beginnings Pre-Orientation Coordinator. We're so excited to welcome you to the Trinity family. Today, we have several members of our Trinity community with us, excited to share their pre-orientation experiences with you. While all of the registration information is online, we wanted to give you a chance to ask questions about the experiences of each of these programs and their fun memories.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nicola, and I'm a rising sophomore. I'm a biochemistry major, and I was a part of Bantam Beginnings program.
Hey everyone, my name is Kim. I'm a rising junior, a public policy and law major, and I'm here representing Pride.
Hi, my name is Tom. I'm a rising senior. I'm a chemistry major, and I'm part of the Quest program.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I'm a rising senior, environmental science and studio art major, and I'm with Hartford by Bike.
Hi everyone, my name is Paula. I'm a rising junior. I'm a public policy and law major, and I am here representing Pride.
So maybe we can start in that order with each of you telling us which program you did and what made you choose it.
I did Bantam Beginnings because it had many different options of pre-orientation depending on interests. I did the one about medicine, about x-rays, a little bit about museums. So it was a combination of arts and medicine, which I was interested in because I wanted to go into sciences. But there were a lot of different options such as Hartford by Bike, or there was another pre-orientation option in which people were walking around Hartford and kind of getting familiar with the surroundings of the city, and they were going to different churches, learning about places to go. So I just thought it was very diverse, and that's why I decided to participate in it.
So I am with Pride, and I was with Pride as a student coming in and also as a Pride leader helping run the program. I chose Pride because it represented a lot of different parts of me. And I thought that coming from a diverse background, it would be a good way to integrate into Trinity and to learn some ways to navigate and adjust.
So I participated in Quest my freshman year and have helped lead the program for the past 2 years. I think I initially chose it as a freshman because I wanted some challenge coming into school to overcome before actually getting to school. And also there were a ton of other people participating in the program. And so it gave me an opportunity to meet my peers in my own year as well as upperclassmen before getting on campus.
I came in as a freshman and did Hartford by Bike. And this is going to be my 3rd year helping the program. And I basically just picked it out because I love biking, and it sounded like a lot of fun, and I'd get to meet people. But it turned out to be a lot more. Like, I really got to experience Hartford from the people that were guiding us throughout the city, and you get to have great authentic food, and you go to the museum. There's like so much to do depending on what your interests are, and they really do a great job of touching all the bases. So when school starts, you know where to get like great Jamaican patties and like, all that great stuff.
So I unfortunately did not do a program coming in, but I was a Pride leader for the program, which basically meant that I helped run events and lived in a freshman dorm. So during Pride, you get to make these connections with upperclassmen who have made this transition from inner cities or either inner cities, low-income families, and just a diverse place in the sense of maybe you're from California and this is your first time on the East Coast, and you realize that everybody walks really fast and talks really fast, and sandals is no longer business casual. So you start trying to accommodate to those, or just more serious things like you've been to a school where most of your classmates were Black and Latino, and then you come to Trinity, which is not the case. So I knew how important it was for students to have that platform. So that's why I got involved in the program. And then this year, I'm helping coordinate what happens when you get here. So I'm excited.
Nice. Maybe you could share with us a favorite place that you visited. In Tom's case, it'll be a little different, but maybe a favorite place that you visited when you did one of your pre-orientation programs, and maybe you could take it back from Paula to give Nicola a break.
Well, I can tell you about one of my favorite places in Hartford that I go to now.
Yeah.
I go to a spot on the corner of Park Street called El Comerillo, which is a Puerto Rican restaurant that has been here for like 50 years or something like that. The owner and I are like good friends now because I go all the time. So he already knows my order and stuff like that. And it's just being around people that speak Spanish, and you're kind of just reminded of home and being able to get, rice, chicken, beans, and plantains and things like that. Just kind of that taste of home. But I think that's one of my favorite stops.
My favorite was the skate park downtown Hartford. And it's a place that I still go to with my friends now. It's a really interesting place because of the people that come there, and it's just fun to hang around. On most days, if it's nice and sunny, you'll just go and you'll say hello to whoever's there. And I think it's also the culture of people that skate or ride bikes there. But it's really friendly, and you get to see like the juxtaposition of where the skate park is located. There's like really like corporate tall skyscrapers right behind it. You get to see like just how complex and beautiful Hartford is, and I think it's a place that a lot of people should go to at some point at their time at Trinity.
Quest is on the Appalachian Trail, but I help run the climbing portions, and so my favorite location on the Appalachian Trail is Bear Mountain, which is the tallest peak in Connecticut. But there's actually a set of cliffs that we might run climbing at on the eastern side of the mountain that has a really beautiful outlook over all of Connecticut.
I think my favorite place to go as a student doing the program was actually to Six Flags. And I found that people are much more friendly when you're frightened to death of a roller coaster. So you really bond with someone when you're screaming from the top of your lungs. It was just really great to see people coming out of their shell and really like talking and socializing in a way that didn't feel like a panel discussion, kind of like talking.
One of my favorite places was just downtown Hartford, because during orientation we had a lot of chances to just create a column of people, walk throughout walk in the streets and talk to random people. And the Science Center in Hartford is a great building. They have a lot of things that are really entertaining, and there are just a lot of nice places in downtown that kind of remind me of a small version of Chicago where I'm from. So they give me kind of a feeling of a big city because there's a lot of shiny places and there are parks, and it's just great because there are places to eat, there are places to hang out. It's a diverse area to just find your place, and Riverfront is a great spot. Definitely.
I agree. So we have a question here from Andrew, and Andrew's asking, is the fee waiver still available? So I just asked Andrew which program he was referring to, but I can tell you that several of our pre-orientation programs do have fee waivers available. So depending on which one, all online, you can find out the email address of that particular coordinator. For example, I'm the coordinator for Bantam Beginnings, and fee waivers are absolutely available, and you just need to email me. And all that you can find on our website. So thank you for asking that question, Andrew. So something else I'm going to pose to our great students. I know when I was a student, coming to campus and not knowing how I would connect with other students was something that was weighing heavily on my mind, made me very anxious. So maybe if any of y'all want to answer how this pre-orientation program, each of yours respectively, helped y'all get over that bump and say that first awkward hello, and how do you think the pre-orientation helped with that? And anyone can start.
Well, I think for Pride, it was initially coming in, everyone was really welcoming. And I find that when you first come to college, everyone is really welcoming because everyone wants to be nice and make as much friends as possible. What was really helpful was forming a bond with an upperclassman who I knew would be down the hall from me in the same dorm, and knowing that I always had that resource there, even though I was still encouraged to go out and make friends. It was always easy to go and see my pride leader in the hallway and ask a question that had been on my mind. So I think that's something that really helped with my transition.
Perfect. That was a great answer. Yeah, go ahead.
I like the trips that were organized. I think there was a lot of surprise in it, in the orientation, because there were so many different options to choose from. And there were so many activities that I maybe not necessarily expected. I was thinking, pre-orientation is going to be super boring. We're going to have a presentation, sitting there trying to eat chips, on the side. But it was actually not bad. It kind of felt like a summer camp, and there was a lot of people. So it was this type of bonding as you usually do in the summer, and it kind of smoothly transitioned us into the school year. And so that was a very good kind of experience for me, and it was definitely not what I expected. So it was a nice surprise to see that we had trips. We had go-karts, like Six Flags, things that are really entertaining. So it actually feels like it's still summertime, even though we're going to school.
Thank you so much. That's a really good way to put it, like a fun summer camp, not sitting down to presentations. Perfect. So Andrew just gave me some more details, and he was inquiring about Pride. So I know with Pride that there's no fee. So I sent him that link, and you're all set, Andrew.
Hope to see you. Yeah, definitely come through. We have a lot of great things planned for Pride. Still planning, of course, because that's how things work out. But Six Flags is definitely on the itinerary on Saturday. So look forward to seeing you there.
Perfect. No, this is a big thing for me. I've fallen in love with food in Hartford. So I don't know if any of y'all want to share. I know some of y'all mentioned places, but maybe you could all mention, or with Tom, things you've cooked on the trail. But maybe you could all mention a favorite spot that your pre-orientation introduced you to. I know Paula mentioned that. Great, love that place. But that might be a nice view for the viewers.
I think my favorite place is, there's this ice cream parlor down the street, on Park Street, and it's about a 15-minute walk from campus, and they have the best ice cream I've ever had, and really great smoothies, and it's a really small, you'd never think it would be in that place. So it's really small, and they don't have a lot of space, but they have awesome desserts and ice creams.
Nice.
Well, so a lot of Pride events happen or discussions happen with food that is brought to us by a local restaurant, a small business. So we had different cultural food. So I know one night we had Jamaican food, the next night we had Spanish food. It was delicious, but also having it in a living room setting was very helpful because it felt like I was just having dinner and conversation with someone, and it wasn't like I was sitting at a restaurant and trying not to spill food.
I think that the closest spot to campus is Trinity Restaurant because it's so easily accessible, and that's a really good place. During my Bantam beginnings, we went there, and I loved it in there. It's kind of like a small place that's very cute inside, and it's just nice to sit there and have a conversation at the big table. So that's one of the places that I like. The other one is pretty kind of simple. So I don't know if I should say that, but I like Denny's because they have the best pancakes. So I go to Denny's every time I go to Walmart. So that's another spot that I like. And there's so many great Mexican, Cuban places, Puerto Rican food. There's this one small store, I don't even know. There's this one restaurant that's called Donde Me Quedo, I think.
Aquí me quedo.
Aquí me quedo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is a very small shop next to it. They sell Mexican tortas, sandwiches. It's a great place to go. I went there and I wanted to practice my Spanish. So obviously, I had a chance to and his band was like, "That's so cool." And then it was funny because I said that I wanted tomato, maybe ham. I was like, "I'm not quite sure what I want." She said, "Do you want everything?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me everything." Because so I would recommend just small places.
Nice, thank you. You're getting me hungry again. Andrew just asked a few logistic questions, and thank you, Andrew. So the first one that you asked is how you submit your applications for these programs. For almost all of these programs, the applications can be sent online, and specific instructions are found online, and I'm going to post in a second the link that will lead you to all of that. You also asked if fee waivers are available for Bantam Beginnings. The answer is yes, and all you need to do is email me, consuelopedro@trinicoll.edu. So that's also posted online. So thank you so much for those questions. So I'm now going to ask Tracy a question because I did not have the opportunity to do Bantam Beginnings Hartford by bike, and I'm fascinated. So would you be able to let us know some of the places that you'll bike to?
Sure. So we basically do 2 days of straight biking around Hartford. And we go to a lot of the parks around that are close by. We go to the oldest public art museum that's downtown, the Wadsworth. And fun fact, like because you're a community member, you don't have to pay, you just take your ID, which is great. And there are a lot of underground scenes, like there's a Real Artways is like a contemporary art space. They do really cool films that are usually not mainstream, they're independent. And there's right next to Real Artways, there's a group of guys that make their own jeans and shoes. So you get to visit them, and they do it old fashioned, like you watch them put the buttons on, and it's like in really cool spaces. The buildings are they're really old. They're like some of the factories that they don't use anymore. So people are just trying to use a space. So we do that. We go to the reservoir, which is in West Hartford, and it's really beautiful. It also has the steepest hill, and I think that's how we all bonded. Because like after 2 days of biking, we clock in like 30 miles a day. And that's like the last hill we do. So by the time we get to the top, we're all dead, and everyone's like, I can't go anymore. But just when you think you can't make it, you just stop. You stop for ice cream. You stop for juice, and it's like there's a really cool Jamaican pastry bakery close by, and you get a lot of authentic food. So you go to restaurants, you go to contemporary art spaces, you go to skate parks, you go to parks and the reservoir. So whatever like you're interested in, we do a good job of touching all the bases and making sure you find something that interests you. You can always go back and do it yourself with your friends.
Thank you. I personally, when I was a student, did not do Quest, and I was just always curious about the logistics, how you start off and all that. So maybe Tom can give us some background on that.
Yes.
Just walk us through it. Like you arrive on campus, what happens then? And
for all of Quest. Okay, so the first thing that happens when students get on Quest, depending on which program they do, if they do the A program, they go home after the program, and so they don't need to bring all their stuff. But for the B programs, you go straight into orientation and the rest of school. And so people will bring all of their college stuff, and then we help put that all in storage. And then students meet up first we have like a big meeting with everybody, and then students break off into small hiking groups. So it's usually 4 to 5 students with 2 to 3 upperclassmen. They break off, get all of their gear together, get all of their food together, kind of talk, debrief a little bit about how the coming week is going to be. And then we all get together, eat together, and then everybody packs all their stuff up, and we head out on the trail. And then once we're out on the trail, people are dropped off at different locations, and they all just start hiking in these really small groups. And that's really awesome because you have this small group of people out on the Appalachian Trail roughing it. I feel like that's one of the best ways to actually like create these friendships and bond and open up, overcoming a challenge like that, overcoming a physical challenge, a mental challenge. We don't have electronics on Quest. So overcoming up those mental crutches that you also have with a small group of people, some of them your year, some of them upperclassmen. So you build a really tight-knit little community with a group of other students. So that goes on for 4 days. And then we all get back together at one campsite. So all of the students who have been out on the trail get together at one campsite, and we have like a bonfire, people tell stories. Everybody gets to meet everybody, and then we bring people back.
Sounds good. I don't know if there's anything else any of y'all want to share, something that really struck y'all or helped y'all get through the anxiety of being a new student on campus, fear of meeting new people. Anything else you want to share? And then when you share that, I think I'll ask representative from athletics, Kristen Noon, to say a few words about any of our students who might have questions about arrival as a student athlete. I know I put you all on the spot, but yeah, please.
So at the beginning of each semester, everybody gets a card, a bus card, so you can use public transportation to get places. So what I think is the problem is that people usually don't take advantage of it, and it's a very good thing because it actually can take you places. Like I went just last week to Manchester.
Wow.
To the mall because I felt like it, so I took a bus and I didn't pay anything, right? And I think it's a very good way to just get around if you want to go visit places, go to restaurants. It's definitely a very useful thing, so try not to lose it. And also take advantage of it because, I mean, we get it for a reason, right? And it's mainly kind of, I think it's intended to motivate us to explore a little bit around Hartford because it's a nice place, but if you don't get off campus, you're going to say, like, oh my God, there's nothing in Hartford. It's like a farmland, corn everywhere. But that's not the case. So that's a good thing.
Thank you. So now we are so lucky to have Kristen Noon representing athletic department.
My view here.
Yes, perfect.
My name is Kristen Noon. I'm the Assistant Athletic Director here at Trinity, and I just wanted to say a few words about any potential student athletes who were wondering about what pre-orientation programs they could in fact participate in. If you are planning to participate on a varsity team, except for cross country, field hockey, football, soccer, or volleyball, you could participate in any of the pre-orientation programs because any of the other sports, their seasons do not begin until after the pre-orientation programs end. If you are participating in one of those sports that I mentioned, again, cross country, field hockey, football, soccer, or volleyball, and you have spoken with a coach about your interest in participating, you should have heard from that coach what date you are to arrive on campus. And if that date is August 27th, you will be booked with activity from the 28th on. And so you can look on the pre-orientation page and look at the dates for the various pre-orientation programs. But I think when we were looking at it, we decided it could just be the A Quest
Trips, yeah.
trips that are the 4-day trips.
Yeah.
That might be, and Venture, the leadership program. Those are they end prior to when those athletes who have been told by the coach to arrive on August 27th would be able to participate in. Any of the other programs, unfortunately, there are a lot of activities, required activities for the athletes. If there are any questions, I'll hang out here if anything pops up.
Great. So we don't have any questions at the moment, but y'all have been so great. I'm excited. If there's anything else that pops up that you'll thought when you think back to yourself as a first year was something that this program really helped with, because I think there are a lot of incoming students out there who are thinking, yeah, I'm good, but they don't realize how really helpful it is to get here early. They might think, oh, orientation will be enough, but these programs are great, but beyond great, they really serve a really important purpose to get you into a groove before classes starts and before orientation starts with the entire class on campus.
Yeah, when I participated in Quest, in my group of students, one of the other students who was in my freshman seminar was also in my group, Dylan, and we bonded over Quest. And so by the time that we got to campus, by the time going through the freshman seminar, I already had a really close friend before I even got on campus. And I think that really helped a lot, just having somebody that I could confide in if I needed to, who was up here. Yeah, right from the get-go.
That's really powerful. Yeah.
So I would chime in. I was a former swimming coach here at Trinity, and while I have certainly heard rave reviews about all the programs represented here, from my student athletes on the swimming team, specifically I've heard a lot about Quest and the connections made, because it is a very different environment. And I can attest to the fact that those student athletes made, in many cases, lifelong friends who weren't on the same team that they were, but they had that connection to that student. So, but I think you could probably speak to any of these programs and have the same outcome.
Maybe some of you could also speak to the relationship that you formed with the leaders in your pre-orientation programs. Anything you want to mention? I know for me personally, having this kind of like older sibling relationship really powered me through kind of challenging times during my first year. And if any of you all have any stories or want to speak to the fact that it really was important, and had you not been in the pre-orientation program, you would have gotten that.
I think one of the things with Pride that you get is you're spending a lot of time talking about really powerful issues that are happening on college campuses everywhere. So Pride isn't only you come on campus and get to move in early and acclimate to the school. Pride is also, in many ways, I think, a leadership event for that weekend, because right that first day we go and have fun, but we come back and we're talking about sexual assault on college campuses. We come back and we're talking about any social justice movements that are going on, whether that be Black Lives Matter, or, for example, talking about any LGBTQ rights that are happening across college campuses. And you could be tackling any of those issues and more, and you're watching films and you're listening to professors and you're just having these really deep. I think that with Quest, and you can chime in, Tom, I think that going up the mountain is like the big kind of physical task that you go through. And Pride, I think, just like that mountain kind of hits somebody right in the face and you have to start climbing. I think that with Pride, like one of the first questions is like, all right, so let's talk about sexual assault on college campuses. That's really a difficult topic for people to talk about, even amongst family members or close friends. So I think that Pride puts you in circumstances or situations where you may feel uncomfortable, but teaching you how to handle those situations and educating yourself on those situations so that you can actually speak on the topic. Because a lot of the students that do come to Pride are students from different backgrounds than most of the students at Trinity. So they have to, unfortunately and fortunately, they have to learn how to acclimate to that environment. And so being able to answer difficult questions or doing deep thinking about various topics. So when you have those upperclassmen there to help guide you, it's kind of like they're putting in their feet first, and they make you feel like, okay, it's okay to talk about these topics. Or if you move away from that, there could also be situations where it's like you want to have close friends. For example, if you're done with your first semester and you can walk down the hall to your Pride leader and ask them which professor should I take for which class, right? They might have insight on perhaps professors that don't give as many exams in the semester or papers or whatever the case may be, which is always really, really helpful. So I think there's logistical things that you might need help on, but I also think that there's bonds that you can make over difficult situations as well.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was alluding to. Thank you so much. It's really valuable. So now we have a question from Annalise, who's asking, would one pre-orientation provide just as many benefits as participating in multiple pre-orientation programs? So kind of a interesting question, but I guess some students might have the opportunity to do more than one. So she's just wanted to know your opinion. Do you think there's a benefit to doing more than one, or thoughts?
I don't think you have to force yourself to do more than one. I don't think it's the type of thing where you try to get as many on the list as you can. But my first year coming in, I did Pride, and then to kind of the way the logistics turned out, I also did Bantam Beginnings. And I ended up in a religion program,
Spirits of the City, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was not very experienced with religion, so it was kind of like, here's something brand new.
Yeah.
And it opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and it was good to be with all different types of people and visiting mosques and visiting synagogues, and it was very informative, and I was really fortunate for the opportunity, even though I thought it would be something that I was just scared because I had no knowledge of it, and it ended up being something that was really rewarding. So if you can fit in more than one, I would suggest it, but don't force yourself.
Thank you, Kim. That was a great answer. So Annalise, there you go. If you can do two, do two.
I think that if you do one, it's okay, but if you do, each pre-orientation program seems a little bit different. So the Bantam Beginnings, I felt like it was more about learning things kind of outside of difficult topics, for example, or things that are more related to campus, learning something about Hartford as a community. But then Pride was more getting familiar with issues on campus, or how to make friends, or how to get around campus and things like this. So I feel like each pre-orientation program would address different questions that you might have and might give you different experience. So I think it's a good idea to combine certain programs, because just like Kim, I did Pride and then I did Bantam Beginnings, and I think that they were giving me a different type of experience, and I like both of them. It's just like the more you do, the more fun you have, and the easier it is to kind of slide into, studying later. Once you have friends, once you have advice from upperclassmen who tell you where things are located. If you want to go to Career Development Center, you know where it is, so you can start early, right?
Right.
So it gives you advantage if you participate in as many as possible.
Thank you.
I'm just going to chime in. I think as an international student, you need to be careful about how many programs you sign up for, because you obviously have to get over jet lag, and then there's international students orientation, and then there's whatever program you choose to do. So you end up you're really tired by the end of the day, and you don't want to be juggling like two different programs. I think it's possible, but I think, especially if you're an international student, it's something you should be looking out for. And you're going to be away from home, so you're going to have like a couple hours where you're missing your family and your friends, and not really excited to be outside. And there's some hours during the day where you're all about meeting people. So I think looking back, my freshman year, when I took the programs, I had a really big load, and it worked out well. It was the perfect thing for me, but you don't want to start off the year being completely burnt out and tired.
Leave that for later.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tracy. for giving that international perspective, because sometimes you do forget you have those physical needs for sleep. So we have a student, Ahmed, and he asked a very philosophical question. I love it. What is the impact of Quest on one's life? So maybe Tom can take this one. Ahmed, that was a great question.
Take a second.
Oh man, so for me, I never backpacked before Quest. I wasn't really an outdoorsy person. So it was a challenge that I'd never really even considered before. And participating in Quest showed me that that is something that's really rewarding, overcoming that challenge, but then also I would definitely say that I'm an outdoorsy person now. After having gone through that, I really love climbing now. That's why I keep on coming back for this, especially for the logistics spot.
I think that was good. No pressure. If something comes to you later. This is leading me to think of something. Maybe if you don't mind sharing how your experience in Quest inspired you to then become a Quest leader, and kind of what that role is, because that's another benefit of these programs. When you go through it, you can then be a leader and take that leadership position, helping people in the following year. So maybe you can speak to that, and then after him, anyone else who wants to speak to that, because most of you all are leaders.
Yeah, so for Quest is run almost entirely by Trinity students. There's one director, Kevin Johnson. He's fantastic. And then other than Kevin, it's students all the way down. And so the program is, a pre-orientation program for freshmen to get to know each other, overcome challenges together, grow, get to meet each other. But then also it's an opportunity for Trinity upperclassmen to get some experience leading students. So there's a really strong leadership aspect of that. With the logistics side of things, what I do, it's more rock climbing, but still you have to work with students, get them on the cliff, keep things safe and all that. And so I wanted to continue. I had a really awesome experience on Quest. I wanted to continue helping the new students also have that same experience I had on Quest, that same awesome sense of community that I experienced on Quest. And also I knew that I need to become a better leader, and so I did Quest to also improve those leadership skills, those organizational skills that come along with that.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else?
I guess I would add that with any program and also with Trinity itself, a lot of how it impacts your life is determined by the mindset you come in with. So if you are thinking positive and being open to stepping outside of your comfort zone and meeting new people and seeing things that you haven't seen before, I think you'll really experience and benefit the most from the programs and also Trinity.
Thank you. Great. So we don't have any new questions coming in right now. So, okay, here's another one. Students asking, what time do programs start and end each day? Just, I guess, on average. Like what times, maybe everyone can mention.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, just from your
schedule
experience.
that's being made right now. The first day, obviously, it varies for different students. Different students are traveling further, so the time of arrival is kind of like a chunk of like 3 hours. This is when you can arrive and we'll help you move in.
Okay.
But on average, I would say that I want to say like 9 a.m., meaning that it starts, so you would have to get to breakfast prior to that.
Okay.
And then I think it programs all throughout the night. But that, it could be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But what I want to say is that even though it seems like, a 10-hour day or something like that, you're not constantly listening to people talk to you for that time. It's more like you may be watching a movie during it. You may be out to dinner. You might be at a park. You might be having a discussion. So there's different things that are, like for example, the first day you're at Six Flags. So I'm sure that those first 8 hours aren't going to seem like the worst 8 hours, you've ever had. So long days, but at least I think in all of our programs, it's full of different things. So it's not like you're just sitting listening to people talk about how to do your FAFSA for 10 hours, which is important, but it's really boring, just being honest. So yeah, don't worry about the long days, but they are long days.
Typically we try to start writing at 9 in the morning, and we come back. The first day we come back a bit later, so maybe 5. And the second day we try to wrap things up a little early because everybody's tired, so around 4. And what happens is the night before we start writing, we get everybody fitted with bikes and helmets. So first thing in the morning, like 8:30, you pick your bike out and you're ready to go. Just hop on and enjoy the ride.
So I'm not sure what the exact days are that the program starts for B, but you get on campus around 10, enter the woods on that Sunday at around 3, and then you leave the woods on Thursday at 5. When you're actually on the trail, it depends on who your leaders are, who your group is. Some people wake up early, like 6 o'clock. Other people are really lazy and wake up at like 10 o'clock. Again, it all depends. You just have a certain distance that you're going that day. So,
right.
That really is something that you work out with your entire group.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. We're starting at 9. We're having pretty long days, but there's such a variety that you don't feel as tired until you get to bed and you're like, wow, I was just out all day. So,
Hartford by Bike is one of the Bantam Beginnings programs. They're usually, I think there are 6 different programs that are in Bantam Beginnings, and most of the time they're around the same time frame, I would say. So we start at 9 or so, or 10, and then it would go till 5. So it's late afternoon or evening, but there are also different pre-orientation programs. So Bantam Beginnings might not be a full day commitment, but then for Pride, there's a lot of events, very interesting ones that are organized. And so that might take a little bit longer, but in the evenings, usually it kind of converts to more of a social time. So it's not always formal in the evenings or late afternoon till late at night, however long that is. It kind of converts to like a social scene, so it's not really tiring anymore. It's kind of really, you get relieved and you talk to friends. So
Thank you. So I just got a question, a student's asking about Venture. So I know we don't have a representative here from Venture, but I know I was invited as an alum to one of their evening dinners, so I can speak about that. And if any of you all have friends who've spoken about it, feel free to share. So I'll start. I was invited last year as an alum to one of the dinners. I think it was the last day, and it was such an empowering experience. And I was only there for just that dinner. But my advice would be, if you can, and I know there's a slight clash kind of with international student orientation, but if there's any way you can contact Katie Clare and Venture staff to see if you can make even part of the experience, I would absolutely encourage it. I was blown away with how inspiring the different workshops and activities that they did within the dinner were, and I could only imagine that the rest of it was like that. And all my friends who've done it only have amazing things to say, and how that helped shape how they view their development for the next 4 years as young men. So definitely try and do it if you can. And if anyone wants to pitch in, but it was a really positive experience. All our programs are so amazing. So we're a few minutes away from our 1 hour mark. So I'm inviting anyone who's listening in and watching to send any questions along, but we've heard from all our wonderful students and Kristen Noon representing athletics. So I just want to give a big thank you to all of y'all. Thank you so much. And I don't know, but I'm excited to meet our incoming class of 2020. we definitely have fun activities planned for them in pre-orientation and orientation, and definitely a good 4 years ahead of them. So just gonna hold on for maybe another minute or two, but we've got some good questions answered here today, so thank you.
As it's going on, I'm still thinking about that, how class changes your life.
Yeah, we have.
It teaches you to take yourself less seriously because you're meeting all of your peers for the first time. It's covered in dirt. And everybody's covered in dirt. You know?
I love that. Not to take yourself too seriously.
No, it helps you figure out who you are, I feel like.
I hope Amit's listening.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Wow. Okay, we have another question. Okay, and I'll extend this. So this person is asking, they're telling us that they are planning to participate in Hartford Highlights. So that's one of the Bantam Beginnings programs. She's asking, are there any sites that you visited that you found yourself visiting regularly throughout your first year and past that? And are the sites affordable for students to visit during the semester? So I guess any of y'all could take that. Maybe not Quest.
Well, I mean, you can still do overnights over the weekend.
That's true with the outdoor.
There is gear that you can check out at Trinity.
There you go.
So yeah, if you
Perfect.
But I mean, there are other camping sites just around.
Yeah. Oh, good to know. So I know, Tracy, you mentioned Heaven, the skate park.
Yeah.
That's pretty affordable to get to. Use your U-Pass.
Drops you pretty close.
Right.
And some of the places that you may be visiting, your professor might ask you to go there again, or there might be other events on campus happening. For example, I'm one of the main coordinators this year for the Trinity's Hip Hop Festival. So it's a big festival with headliners. So last year we had Rakim, which if you know anything about hip hop, he's like the best lyricist that there's ever been. Ever. And so that's like not even argued. And
How do you really feel about it?
I actually don't even, he's good, but it's just his rhyme scheme and the way, that's a whole nother discussion. But he is, it was just crazy that we were able to get him here at Trinity, which is like unexpected. But we have students that come from other schools and they go and go to a lot of our workshops and our panels and things like that. So we bring people from all over the world to the festival, which is great for students to get that exposure. But one of the things that we're actually considering doing this year, which is we always incorporate the skate park, but this year we're looking to, and we're not sure we're going to be able to do this, but if budgets work out, we're thinking of possibly doing a big food truck / cookout at skate park on one of the days of the festival. The festival is usually between 3 or 4 days long, and that might be our big kickoff. So there might be an opportunity for you to go back then. And I know that there are professors that ask, specifically the skate park, that just always pops into my mind. A lot of photography. I know a lot of photography students go there to take pictures and things like that. So there might be ways for you to go that may be incorporated throughout your career. You may not expect it. So.
And I'll add to that, as a transition fellow, one of the things that the Bantam Network is all about is connecting students to campus, but also a larger campus, which is Hartford. And absolutely, I take students out, part of my nest, every single Friday. We take our U-Pass, which is our bus pass that comes free to every student, and we head downtown and we sample different coffee shops and pastries and appetizers, and so you can get the most for $5. So absolutely, the kinds of places that you visit within Bantam Beginnings and pre-orientation programs, you absolutely can affordably get there throughout. And that's the whole thinking behind how it was designed. So great question. So we have Mohammed, who just said hi. So I'll give him a few seconds to type in, but we're almost at 8:30, so we've had a really great hour. So let's see if Mohammed. While we wait for Mohammed to type a question back, are there any funny stories you want to share from your pre-orientation experiences? Any memorable? And if no, I just thought I'd throw that out there before we end up.
So
Yeah.
during my Bantam beginnings, there was this kind of competition in one of the programs. That you had a series of questions about campus and Hartford in general, and you wanted to answer as many as possible. And then you had a chance to win a gift card to the Trinity bookstore, or I think it was $100, $50, and $25. And so I was pretty lazy, and the questions were kind of like, how many flags representing Trinity College are on Summit Street, or something like this. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna walk on Summit Street and count the flags. This is ridiculous. So what I did, I went to Google Maps. I did an online tour, and I counted them. So I answered this question, and then I Googled like a bunch of different stuff, and I got the second place. I got $50. Googling stuff and counting flags.
Talk about efficiency.
Yeah. I know how to get through.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Thank you for that. So you have a comment.
So at last year as a Pride leader, during our welcome weekend, we went camping, and it was pitch dark because obviously we're in the woods, and the bathrooms were a bit of a walk away on the trail. And I could not for the life of me find my flashlight, and not wanting to wake my roommates up, I'm like, I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'm just gonna start walking and see where I end up. So like I was walking and it was raining and I was thundering. It was the most petrifying thing, but the next morning when I got to tell everybody about it, they're like, oh, how did you sleep? And I'm like, well, I almost got lost going to the bathroom in the dark.
Definitely memorable.
So you made it.
Yeah. I did.
You made it. So an international student is asking, do you have enough time during pre-orientation to go shopping and organize your room?
So part of the international student orientation is they do take you shopping. So they'll take you to, I think they take you to Target and Walmart. So you don't have to make the trips by yourself. They'll like drop you off and you can go with your friends and they'll pick you up again. They do give you like a decent amount of time to, wind down and call family and take a nap. So you do have time to, just settle in.
Thank you so much. That was a really good distinction you made, that you don't have to worry about fitting it in during pre-orientation, that it's carved into international student orientation. So thank you for distinguishing that. So Andrew just asked, is it worth joining both Pride and Bantam Beginnings? I know we answered this, so anyone else can just remind us what you thought. I think Kim.
Yeah, like I said before, it was good to have both experiences because I was able to have really deep discussions, but then also to do something and learn something that I've never really experienced before, which was going to different religious organizations and places. Another benefit was that I know logistically when Pride ended the year I did it, I would have had to go home for 2 days and then come back. And so it was more affordable for me to do another program and also have the experience, but also stay on campus and go straight into freshman orientation.
From my perspective, I don't know personally it will be different because for Pride is organized mainly by students, so you get to interact with other students and upperclassmen, so it's kind of more a chill out time, hanging out with friends, and it's a very valuable experience with people your age to get kind of very important information that you might need in the semester. But then Bantam Beginnings, you usually have a faculty member that's advising different programs. Like I said, there are 6 options maybe, or 7 options, 7 different programs within Bantam Beginnings Network. And so you get to work with faculty members, so it's a different type of experience, but still a faculty member would give you different information that would be useful during the semester. And I would say that it's a good balance. It's a different type of perspective. So for me, I would say I felt really good about participating in both.
Thank you. So I hope that answered your question really clearly, Andrew. That's a great question. Okay, so I'm not seeing any other questions come in, and I know we really answered so many great questions, so I feel really good about this, and I hope all our viewers are really excited about signing up for one of our many pre-orientation programs. As we reiterated, there are so many benefits that you can get from it. So go to pre-orientation, just simply you can Google it, and it's all included in all the emails that you've been getting, and it's just a few clicks away. So thank you so much, and see you in August. Bye.
Bye.